Retirement. It's the chapter of life we work towards for decades, dreaming of freedom and relaxation. But for many of us, after the initial excitement fades, an unexpected silence can begin to creep in. The bustling social circles from our careers disappear. The house feels a little too quiet once the kids and grandkids have gone home. Is it really possible to build deep, meaningful friendships after the age of 60? The answer is a resounding, wholehearted yes. Today, we're going to explore exactly how to do that, and I invite you to stay with me on this journey because the final secret I'll share is a surprising truth. The fastest way to make new friends has almost nothing to do with finding other people at all. Hello, and a heartfelt welcome to 50 Plus Timeless Wisdom. Loneliness is a difficult feeling to talk about, but it's a deeply human experience. And it is especially common during the major life transitions that happen in our 60s and beyond. So first, let's be clear. If you have ever felt a pang of loneliness, please know that you are not alone in feeling this way. And it is not a personal failure. Think about the massive changes we navigate. You might see an image of a man in his late 60s, waving goodbye to his work colleagues on his last day, feeling a mix of pride and a sudden sense of being adrift. Or picture an older woman standing in a quiet house that once echoed with the laughter of her children. Perhaps you moved to a new state, like beautiful Florida, leaving a lifetime of connections behind. Or maybe you are navigating life after the profound loss of a spouse. These are monumental shifts, and it is completely natural for our social fabric to feel a bit thin during these times. The first, most powerful step is simply to acknowledge this feeling with kindness, to tell yourself, it's okay that I feel this way. This is a time of change, and it's challenging. Before we even think about where to go or what to do to meet new people, the real journey begins within. We have to gently clear away the internal barriers that often hold us back more than any external circumstances. The first great barrier is the fear of rejection. That little voice inside that whispers, what if they don't like me? What if I say the wrong thing? This fear is universal, but as we age, we have a superpower to combat it: wisdom. The wisdom to know that if someone doesn't connect with you, it's not a reflection of your worth, but simply a matter of chemistry. It is not a judgment on your entire being. The second barrier is the thought that it's too late. You might see a senior looking in the mirror thinking, I'm too set in my ways, or all the good friendships have already been formed. This is a myth. Your age is not a disadvantage, it is your greatest asset. You bring a lifetime of experience, fascinating stories, and a depth of understanding that a younger person simply doesn't have. You are more interesting now than you have ever been. The final barrier is often the most personal, the quiet belief that we are not interesting enough. We think our lives are too ordinary to capture someone's attention, but let me tell you a secret. Every wrinkle on your face holds a story. Every hobby you've enjoyed, every challenge you've overcome, every quiet moment of joy you've experienced, that is the rich, fascinating material of connection. Your life is not a boring book, it is an unread library waiting for the right person to discover it. The essential shift in mindset we must make is from I need to find friends to I am ready to be a friend. This means seeing yourself not as someone with a deficit, but as someone with a wealth of experience to offer. Recognizing and gently challenging these inner barriers is the courageous first step. Once our hearts are open and ready, we can then begin to look for the fertile ground where new friendships can grow. In our next segment, we'll explore exactly where to find these wonderful places and how to plant the very first seeds of connection. Once our hearts are open and ready, we can then begin to look for the fertile ground where new friendships can grow. So, with that open heart, where do we actually go to find these potential new friends? The secret is to stop thinking about finding friends and start thinking about finding your people. It's about finding that rich, fertile soil where friendships can sprout naturally because you are surrounded by others who share your interests and values. The goal is to put yourself in environments where connection is a happy byproduct of doing something you already enjoy. Let's explore some of these wonderful places. One of the most rewarding avenues is volunteering. When you volunteer for a cause you care about, you are immediately surrounded by people with similar values. Imagine a gentleman in his 70s, retired engineer, volunteering at a local museum, sharing his knowledge with visitors. Or picture a woman in her late 60s, her face full of compassion, gently petting a cat at an animal shelter. When you work alongside someone for a shared purpose, conversation and connection happen naturally and without pressure. Another fantastic option is to join a class or a group centered around a hobby. Think about what sparks your curiosity. Is it a pottery class, a book club at the local library, or a gardening group? You might visualize a group of seniors laughing together as they learn a new line dance, or an older man concentrating happily on a painting in an art class. These settings are perfect because the activity itself is the focus, which takes the pressure off of making conversation. Friendship can blossom from a simple comment like, "I love the color you're using on your canvas." And of course, there are gentle fitness and activity groups. This is especially wonderful here in a place like Florida, where the weather invites us outdoors. Think of the easy camaraderie found in a daily walking club that meets at a local park. Or you might see a group of vibrant retirees, men and women, enjoying a lively game of pickleball in the sunshine. There are classes for chair yoga, tai chi, or water aerobics, specifically for seniors. These are not just good for your body, they are fantastic for your social life. Now, once you found these places and started these small conversations, how do you take that next crucial step from a friendly acquaintance to a true friend? That requires a little bit of courage and a simple technique we'll discuss next. And remember, we are still getting closer to revealing that final surprising secret to making friends that I mentioned at the very beginning. How do you take that next crucial step from a friendly acquaintance to a true friend? That requires a little bit of courage and a simple technique we can call the low-stakes invitation. This is the gentle art of building a bridge from the group activity to a one-on-one connection. It's called low stakes because it's a small, specific, and casual invitation that is easy for someone to say yes to, and just as importantly, easy for you to handle if they say no. You are not asking them to be your best friend for life, you are simply inviting them to share a small moment. For example, picture two older women who met in a book club chatting after a meeting. One might say, "I really enjoyed our discussion today. Would you like to grab a cup of coffee at the cafe next door before you head home?" Or imagine two gentlemen in their 70s who met in a woodworking class. One could say, "I'm heading to the hardware store this Saturday morning to look for some new tools. Would you care to join me?" The beauty of the low-stakes invitation is that it's not a big deal. If the person is busy, they can easily decline without awkwardness, and you haven't put yourself in a vulnerable position. But if they say yes, you have successfully created the first opportunity for a real, personal conversation outside the context of your shared activity. This is how friendships begin to deepen, one cup of coffee, one shared walk, one small moment at a time. It's a small act of bravery that can open up a whole new world of connection. And now for the final and perhaps most important secret to making friends after 60, the one I hinted at in the very beginning. The surprising truth is this: the best way to attract new friends is to stop trying so hard to find them and instead focus on becoming a person that you, yourself, would want to be friends with. What does this mean? It means turning your focus inward and cultivating your own rich, interesting, and joyful life first. Instead of seeing an empty social calendar and thinking, "I need to find people to fill my time," think, "What can I do today that would bring me joy and a sense of purpose?" Pursue that hobby you've always been curious about. Visualize a vibrant woman in her 70s completely absorbed and happy while painting in her home studio. Read books about subjects that fascinate you. Take that online course. Volunteer for that cause that lights a fire in your heart. When you're engaged, passionate, and happy in your own company, a remarkable thing happens. You become naturally magnetic. Your energy becomes positive and attractive. You have interesting things to talk about that come from your own genuine enthusiasm. Friendship then ceases to be a stressful hunt. Instead, it becomes a natural, beautiful byproduct of you living a full and authentic life. Your life is not over. A new exciting social chapter may just be beginning. Thank you so much for spending your time with us here at 50 Plus Timeless Wisdom. We hope this guide has given you both the encouragement and the practical tools to build the new, meaningful friendships you deserve. If you found this video helpful, we would be so grateful if you'd give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who might need to hear this message. And please, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel, 50 Plus Timeless Wisdom, and click that notification bell so you won't miss our weekly videos. We love to hear from you. What is one hobby or activity you enjoy that could be a great place to meet new people? Please let us know in the comments below. Here's to new adventures and new friends. Be well.